I'm Elisa Mortensen, and this is UndoRedo. Let's take a look at all the things that happen in life that we would like to undo and have a chance to redo. Hello, everyone. I want you all to know how much I love, care, and think about you. I also want you to know that I've done a lot of work on myself, and I've recently just let down my guard. And I've submitted to doing all I can in my coaching practice and here on this podcast to help all of you in any and every way possible. I'm learning so much about me, and I can help you learn so much about yourself. So let me know what I can help you with, and let me know your questions. Reach out to me on lifecoachalisa.com or put your questions in the question box in Spotify. But guess what is so exciting about this November 2023? I've put together 2 free masterclasses for the month of November. And the value that I have put into these is priceless, you guys, because it has to do with the only thing you take with you when we leave this earth. It's your relationships. I will teach you the methods that I use that work for me every time. And I'll answer all your questions related to your specific situations during the time that we have together. And I've based these 2 masterclasses off the 2 biggest topics that are coming up in most of your lives at this time. The first one is empowering kids for their future decision making. It will be on Monday, November 13th at noon. And the other one will be holiday spirit while with difficult family on Monday, November 20th at noon. Okay, so write those dates down. And you can find them also on my bio, and you can find them on my website. And I just enter your email and I'll send you the link to join. All right. Moving on to this episode. This one's called False Thoughts May Appear Real. Okay. Most of us can grasp or have been able to grasp that our thinking creates our feelings. But how many of us are trying to change our thoughts from negative to positive too quickly without being ready to change it? There's a space between wanting a new thought and believing that new thought. Maybe the thought you have is like, I'm too busy, I have no time, I'm so behind, I'm so overwhelmed, I don't get to do what I want to do, but if I don't do this, nobody else will, or what a jerk, and look at them, they're doing it all wrong. Any one of those will work. Or pick your own that applies to you for this episode, okay? Pick a thought that you have. Now, it may seem like a fact. All right? Think of the time that you are so beside yourself. What is the thought that is linked to that? If you can pinpoint that sentence, it's really imperative to understand this little episode. But we need to first separate that thought from the facts. It's true to you, that thought that you keep thinking that causes you this horrible emotion when you're in your worst place. It's true to you because you believe it. And be careful with that. You'll want to argue with it that it's actually true. You'll even be able to give me tons of reasons that it could be true. But someone else may see all of your tasks that you have to do in your life right now, or the people that you deal with and disagree with, and someone somewhere may say that's not true. Their calendar's either more full than you, or they love the person that you're not getting along with. They may see that you have plenty of time. You have plenty of time and you can cut back on your entertaining yourself. Or maybe the time you spend on your media or streaming your shows. Maybe their calendar is so full compared to yours, and they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. You're not overwhelmed and stressed. You don't have too many things at all. Maybe there are people who have less free time than you or more free time than you. So some people may agree with it and some won't, which makes it not a fact. That means you have brought some drama into it, some opinions or your judgment about it, because it's optional. It's just a thought about it. Really. Even if you have tons of reasons and evidences pointing to all the things that you have to do all the time, or the person that just sucks in your life, it's still just a thought. So again, what makes it true is if you believe that it's true. So that still doesn't mean that it's a fact. If we stripped down that thought of adjectives and adverbs and left only the facts, it's going to sound something more like, I have 3 loads of laundry. I have kids with sounds and words coming out of their mouths that need to be fed. I have a husband who's not home. I have toys on the floor. There's crumbs on the floor also. There are dirty dishes in the sink and in the dishwasher. There are assignments that are due tomorrow and a person in my life that I strongly disagree with. Not strongly even is an adjective and an adverb. See, I can even, it takes a minute. It takes a while to separate the facts from the thoughts. Okay, so even just now when I said it, a person in my life that I disagree with. Or how about this one? There are blank amount of hours left in the day. If you can catch yourself, if you are able to be aware enough to notice the false thoughts may appear real in your mind. You can own them just as a thought if you can see it. It is just your thought. It's your opinion about what's happening. It's what you're making it mean. It's what you came up with. So you can choose another one to come up with that aligns more with a truer version of yourself or how you'd like to be and show up. That's exactly how we get our power back. How we get out from under the influence of it, how we have it lose its ability to hold us or keep us stuck, hold us back. This is where the freedom is found, okay? So, how does a thought take away your freedom and hold us back? It's a good question. Well, by thinking it's real, you're not going to be able to find a solution for it. You're not even going to be looking for a solution for it or a way around it or even questioning any of it. You'd just be going with it, and that decreases your freedom to choose something else. And it's because we've already decided and told ourselves that we don't have any time or that we're so behind, that we're not able to find creative ways of getting ahead or finding a minute here and there. We're just so certain that our tasks cause us to feel overwhelmed, or the people in our life are causing us to feel overwhelmed. So we just sit in the overwhelm, and that proves it right. All right? Our mind holds on to that thought as though it's real, but it's the thought that we keep having that makes it so. So somewhere along the way, we've all decided that we aren't as efficient or capable without our husbands, or that we haven't been looking for a minute to do what we want because we already reinforced the thought that we don't get to do what we want to do. Can you guys see it? I'd love it if you'd email me with questions or get back with me if this isn't clear. I love it when you guys do that. So being mindful and intentional and aware is not going to get rid of the negative emotions that we have, because those emotions are brought on by our thinking. How we choose to think about something creates our emotions about it, not the other way around. Here's the part where we miss sometimes, and I hope I'm making sense. Once you grasp the concept of your thinking creating your feelings, not the situation creating your feelings, what you'll want to do is you'll want to go straight to thinking a new, better thought. You'll be like, oh, there's that bad thought again. I got to think something new. What else do I have? Oh, I can do hard things. You just want to thought swap, because we've learned that it's our bad thought causing us to feel bad. So when we see a bad thought, we're like, oh, I shouldn't think that. I can't think that. What other thing do I have? And we swap out the bad one for a good one, like, voila, it's going to make a difference. But in our head, it's going to sound like, oh, it's okay. It's okay. This is going to be okay. I got this. Or I can do hard things, or just some other unreachable, unattainable thought. And that's not going to work every time. And the reason it's not going to work is because we're onto ourselves. It's not actually believable for us at first. If it happens to you that you realize your thoughts are causing your emotions and you'd like to change your thoughts, and you kind of are like, no, this is going to be okay. I can do this. I got this. I can come up with some other creative way. And you're saying all the right things to yourself, but you still feel icky inside. If this happens to you and you don't know why your new thought isn't getting you that great feeling yet, it's because you're avoiding the bad thought. You still actually believe the bad thought or the wrong thought, and that's where you're at. And that's okay. Don't be in a hurry to get to the new way that you've just learned about so you can feel better sooner. But why didn't it work? It's because you need time to be with that old thought for a while. And once you know that it's one you'd like to not have, and it may take a little bit longer to put together and observe that thought, and how is that thought connected to how horrible you feel? The best way to do this is to become curious about it. You can say, hey, there's that stressed feeling again. And if feelings come from thoughts, what was I just thinking? What's the thought that I had last time I felt this way? Are they the same? Did I choose that same thought again? Is this stress, or is this like worry, or what I call this overwhelm? Where do I feel it in my body right now? And notice what around you, whether it's a person or a situation, causes you to think in that way and bring up that sentence in your mind that leaves you feeling in the stress, worry, or overwhelm or anxiety. And don't be in a hurry to change that new thought right away, really. Sit with yourself, connecting the dots between the thought and the emotion of what upset you. It's not the person that made you angry, right? It's not the situation. It's the thought. It's what you've made it mean when it happened. All right. And it's perfect that it was your thought about it because we get to choose our thoughts. So please make a special effort at this point to consider that sometimes when you have a wrong thought about it, maybe your new thought needs a baby step. Maybe you can't get from, this person sucks to, I completely love and adore this person. Maybe your new thought needs like some practice or a baby step. It could sound like, one day it may be possible for me to tolerate this person. Or what if it's possible for me to see that this person has some good in them because there are people out there who like them, even if I don't like them right now? Maybe the dirty dishes or the laundry, maybe that doesn't define you. Maybe that doesn't say anything about you, and you can just choose not to do it. Maybe you don't have to do it. Who says? Who's making you? Or maybe you can make it a good day with the toys and the crumbs all over the floor. How can you make a day fun and efficient with still having the kids and having the sounds and the words come out of their mouth and having the toys and the crumbs on the floor? How can you maintain you throughout the day? And what thought would you need in order to do that? It can make all the difference in the way you see it. And that will make a difference in the way you feel. We show up better when we feel better. And we have the power to choose deliberately our thoughts that can give us those feelings. But it has to be believable. Okay, you can't just swap one out for another and think that it's going to take care of things. One day my coach and I were talking, and I was struggling with how every day I was ending feeling deflated and like defeated. And I linked it to, I took enough time observing myself with that feeling to find that it was my to-do list. It was the stuff still left on my to-do list and my thought about it that was causing me to feel deflated every night. She was able to bring to my attention that it wasn't the things left on my list that were taking away my feeling accomplished at the end of my day. It was the thought about the things left on my to-do list, my drama, my negative opinion. I was thinking things like, I didn't get it all done again. I'm not surprised. It's like this every day of my life. Or, that thought, that thought left me feeling deflated. I made it mean that I wasn't accomplished because I was seeing what I didn't do instead of all the things I did do. And some baby steps for me were, yeah, but how many things did I do today that aren't on this list? And that helped a little. Like that took some pressure off my negative drama. Why would I want to think things that kept me from ever feeling accomplishment? Like, that was another question. I got curious with myself, and the question I asked myself that really gave me the most headway on it was, why would I wanna think things that kept me from ever feeling accomplished? I watched myself continue to have the tendency to keep that thought. Like, you guys, I believed it. Like, that was just a go-to for me. And I slowly thought of a new way to think about it, and I still see that thought come to my mind here and there. It doesn't just go away. After all, it was in a habit of my daily life for, like, a really long time. I now have many different thoughts that I think at night that allow me to feel like I would want to at the end of my day. Some of my thoughts are, I did my best at all the things that I did cross off. Or I bet I could find a way to fit some of those things in tomorrow. Or maybe there's a young person around that would love to do some of these things and make some extra money. Like, I was trying to get creative with it. And before I didn't ever get creative with it. Creative before I didn't ever get creative with it. So that curiosity and allowing to let go of that thought helped me be creative. Another question that I asked myself was, how could I prioritize these things on my list? And what could I do without today? Let me say that again. That was horrible. Another question that I got curious about with myself was, how could I priorities? How could I prioritize these differently today? Or what of these things could I just do without? That doesn't really matter. And it gave me my control back. It put me in a creative mode instead of in a victim mode. And it gave me the feeling of accomplishment. And I showed up so much better when I felt accomplished instead of deflated and defeated. Try it out and listen again to this if you need to, or get on a call with me. You guys are having so much success when I'm able to show you specifically for you how this works. I will walk you through what it looks like in your situation. And please, if you thought of anybody while listening to this episode, share it with them. The heavens reach us through each other. I love you all, and I will talk to you again soon.